Or a student has a small piece of steel. Describe an experiment that he could do. Find the density of steel. You may draw a diagram to help your answer. I already give you the diagram, so you just copy this diagram in your exercise or the exam paper. So the diagram has irregular solid objects. We place it on the electronic balance and shows us the reading. So the most important here, if you think about the density equals mass divided by volume. I'm dealing with an irregular object. How can I do this experimentally? So first point is I want to measure, so I will go for measure the mass of the steel. I will get 1 mark for this, say by or using here an electron balance. Here I deserve another mark for these 2 points. So I already mentioned I'm going to measure what exactly, which is the mass, and the electronic balance, which is the device. Or fill a measuring cylinder using with enough water. Why? Because I want to submerge the steel. Okay, the point 3, this is really important. I have to measure again. I'm going to highlight this keyword. Measure what? Measure the volume of water, and let me say this is V1 into the measuring cylinder. Okay, that point 3. So shall I get 1 mark for this one? Yes, I will get 1 mark for measuring the volume of water. What should I say? The point 4, or the marking point 4, is to use the displacement method to measure the volume of the irregular object, which is the steel. You have to place the steel into the measuring cylinder, and when you place it, please place it gently, because you want to measure the volume and avoiding any splashes. So mark point, we're so close to get marking point 4. You have to measure now the final volume of water plus the steel or the object. So let me say this is V2. Now I am so close to get marking point 4. So what is marking point 4 here? So definitely is to measure the volume of the steel using the equation V2, the final volume of object and water, minus V1. Okay, so shall I get 1 mark? Definitely there is 1 mark for this point. Okay, but I did not mention that how can I measure the density? Density is mass divided by volume. So I would say using the following formula, which is D of density of the steel equals M divided by V2 minus V1, which is the difference between the 2 volume. And the density, by the way, it's measured kilogram per cubic meter. I think I deserve the 5 marks in here for mentioning all of these 5 points. There are some other points for accuracy and showing the precaution in the experiment, like for example, object tied to thread, when you place it gently inside the measuring cylinder, awareness of meniscus, when you take the reading, look at the eye position, take the reading from the bottom of the curved surface, this one to avoid parallax error, and measuring, which we call it at eye level, repeat the readings more than once, taking the average. You have to check that the balance itself is starting from 0, so 0 mark. And when you check the pan of the balance itself, it's horizontal surface, there is no inclination, or there's not any other pieces of metals for irregular value might affect on your readings. And as I told you, we avoiding splashes, so we have to drop the object gently into the measuring cylinder and measure the mass before the volume, because the object might be wet, and later on you measure the mass with water. So preferable is to measure the mass first of the steel, then you go for the displacement method. So this is the end of this question. We get 5 marks, 5 out of 5.